Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. I seek your permission to move a resolution on the Rules 121 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business. And the text of the resolution reads as follows. This House do resolve impress upon the Union Government of India on the crucial need to further amend the Constitution, Scheduled Tribes, Order 1950, so as to make necessary exclusion and substitution to the list of tribes in Part 11 of the schedule pertaining to the state of Meghalaya, in keeping with the actual demographics of the state.
Motion moved. You may initiate the discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, sir, for permitting me to move this very vital resolution. It is with a sense of responsibility and authority that I bring into discussion before this august House today. A subject that is much required to deliberate on and to take a considered decision, because it really affects all of us, not just us legislators, but the very people in the constituencies that we represent. It affects us all certainly in the realms of public policy. Yet this matter has been left unattended all these years by the state legislature, year after Meghalaya attained statehood. Let me start at the very beginning. The scheduled tribes, as we know, derive their constitutional status and privileges by virtue of their respective tribes being duly listed in the Constitution, Scheduled Tribes, Order 1950. As legislators, we may have come across this important official document, which is a presidential order made under Article 342 of the Constitution of India, and which declared the tribes listed in the schedule appended to the order as scheduled tribes in relation to the particular state that they are listed under, with each state arranged against a serialized part number. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, for instance, Khasi and Garo tribes were listed on the Part 2. Assam, although, remember, this was 1950. And the territories that Khasi and Garo tribes inhabited were then part of undivided Assam. And in that list in Part 2, along with Khasi and Garo, the tribes of Chakma, Dimasa, Hajong, Hamar, Kuki, Lakher, Man, Mizo, Naga, and Pawi were also specified. The Constitution, Scheduled Tribes, under 1950, was amended by an Act of Parliament in 1976, wherein the list of tribes in Part 2, Assam, remained more or less the same. Yet a new Part 11 was added to the schedule, and Part 11 was for the then newly created state of Meghalaya. Interestingly, the tribes listed in Part 11, Meghalaya was taken ditto from what was listed in Part 2, Assam. Whether that was the right thing or wrong thing to do, I cannot be standing here today in the year 2024 and make a moral judgment on something done in way back 1976. I would let it be as it happened, as there may have been justified reason and circumstances for doing so at that time. Maybe it may suit at that point of time. Sir, I may recall myself and all of us that the present, though it belong to the past, but we never belong to the present. And even though the present, though it belong to the future, but we are the framers for the future. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, however, over the years and decades that pass, post the formation of the state of Manipur and Tripura, which came about by the Northeastern Areas Reorganization Act passed by Parliament in 1971. And then the states of Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh, which were created similarly by acts of Parliament passed in 1986. I personally feel that there should have been some express consciousness in our state legislature on the need to apprise the Union Government of India about the necessity to further amend the schedule to the Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order 1950 so as to correctly reflect the changing demographics of the region of Northeast India. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I say this with conviction and without prejudice because after Parliament passed the Constitution, Nagaland Scheduled Tribes Order in 1970, we see that Naga tribes were listed under that order. Then, with the 1976 amendment to the Constitution, Scheduled Tribes Order, where Part 10 was added to the schedule for the state of Manipur, we see that Kuki tribes were duly listed under that part. Similarly, we see that Chakma tribes were duly listed under Part 15, Tripura, that was also added in 1986. Hamar tribe were listed on the Part 17, Mizoram. So the understanding that I have arrived at is this: if over the years and decades the tribes of Chakma, Dimasa, Hamar, Kuki, Lakher, Man, Mizo, Naga and Pawi have found correct and rightful mention in the respective state defined part of the schedule to the Constitution Scheduled Tribe Order, then would not it be correct and right to make corresponding exclusion in the list on the Part 11 of the schedule, which is in relation to the territory of the state of Meghalaya? And why I'm saying this is because, as I have mentioned earlier at the start, that the status and privileges of scheduled tribes in relation to the states where they are recognized in do have a definite bearing on how public policy of that particular state is affected. With due respect to tribes all over the Northeast, who are my esteemed friends and brothers in spirit, please don't mind me saying this. But by public policy, I certainly do imply the legal operation of the Meghalaya Transfer of Land Regulation Act 1971, as amended, as well as the applicability of the state reservation policy. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the one exception that I wish to point out here is with regard to the Kuki sub-tribes of Biate, who are uniquely indigenous to the Jaintia Hills. Similarly, there could be a few other tribes or sub-tribes which I have failed to mention, and these too deserve an exception. Other than that, I see no reason why it is inappropriate for me to bring to the attention of this august House that the list of tribes in Part 11 of the schedule to the Constitution, Scheduled Tribes Order 1950 as amended, really is no longer in keeping with actual demography of the state of Meghalaya. And so, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I feel convinced to urge honorable members of the state legislature to have their separate say and invite them to share the valuable point of views on this resolution moved by me. Yes, it is sensitive, no doubt, yet it is crucial at the same time for the interests at large of people of our state. It is prudent for me to also mention here that the Part 11 of the schedule deserves necessary review, as entry number 6 of the list reads as, and I quote, Khasi, Jaintia, Siteng, Panar, War, Bhoi, Lingam. Now, I am sure we are quick to question why Jaintia, Siteng, Panar have been specified differently in the entry. That is a big question mark. Therefore, this entry in the list absolutely deserves correct substitution as a single sub-tribe. And that too, with the correct spelling. Further, we see that Sintang has been specified twice in the list. That is one more time at entry number 14, and such double entry obviously required deletion. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, so to conclude, I wish to state that the resolution that I am proposing before this August House today calls for a joint decision by honorable members of the House to escalate our concern to the Union Government of India so that procedural steps are taken to affect a legislative initiative in Parliament that will pave the way for specific necessary exclusion and substitution to the list of tribes in Part 11 of the schedule pertaining to the state of Meghalaya in the Constitution, Scheduled Tribes Order 1950 as amended. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, sir, I once again thank you for allowing me to move this resolution. I have a firm hope in humanity and in divine wisdom. I believe that with clear understanding and vision, we can expect a consciousness to course correct a constitutional anomaly, and that this House will resolve to impress upon the Union Government of India on the crucial need to further amend the Constitution, Scheduled Tribes Order 1950, so as to make necessary exclusions and substitutions to the list of tribes in Part 9 of the schedule pertaining to the state of Meghalaya, in keeping with the actual demographic of the state. With these very few words, sir, I would like to resume my seat. Thank you.
Thank you. Any member who would like to participate? Mention their sleep so that I can regulate the time. If there is no one to speak, then may I request the Honorable Minister in charge to make a reply.
So, Deputy Speaker, sir, I rise to respond to the resolution brought forward by our Honourable MLA, 17 North Shillong constituency, by Adalbert Nongrum, in this esteemed House, concerning the resolution with the text that reads, "This House do resolve to impress upon the Union Government of India on the crucial need to further amend the Constitution, Scheduled Tribes Order 1950, so as to make necessary exclusions and substitutions to the list of tribes in Part 11 of the schedule pertaining to the state of Meghalaya, in keeping with the actual demographics of the state." So first and foremost, the government acknowledges the importance of this resolution. And to go back to the history of how this order emanated, this formed part of the Presidential Order, Part 11 of the Constitution, Scheduled Tribes Order 1950, Part 3, Rules and Orders under the Constitution, and in the case of the notified Scheduled Tribes of Meghalaya, which constitutes 17 notified tribes. These tribes are as follows: Chakma, Dimasa Kachari, Garo, Hajong, Hamar, Khasi Jaintia, including Khasi, Sinteng or Panar, War, Bhoi or Lingam. 7, any Kuki tribes. 8, Lakher. 9, Man, Thai speaking. 10, any Mizo tribes. 11, Mikir. 12, any Naga tribes. 13, Pawi. 14, Sinteng. 15, Boro Kacharis. 16, Koch, and 17, Rabha. The demographic picture / percentage breakup of the composition of the major tribes of Meghalaya as per 2011 census reads as follows. All scheduled tribes, 25,55,861 population, and the overall percentage of the population was 87.19. Khasi Jaintia, 14,13,353. Total percentage 48.68%. Garo, 8,21,026. Total percentage 27.67%. Other tribes, 3,21,482. Total percentage is 10.85%. So these are extracts from the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes Handbook 2016. And I would like now to briefly touch upon the procedure for inclusion in or exclusion from the list of scheduled tribes. So in June 1999, the government approved modalities for deciding claims for inclusion in or exclusion from the list of scheduled tribes. According to these approved guidelines, only those claims that have been agreed to by the concerned state government, the Registrar General of India, and the National Commission for Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes will be taken up for consideration. Whenever representations are received in the Ministry of Tribal Affairs for inclusion of any community in the list of scheduled tribes of a state/union territory, the ministry forwards that representation to the concerned state government or union territory for recommendation as required under Article 342 of the Constitution. If the concerned state government recommends the proposal, the same is sent to the Registrar General of India, RGI. The RGI, if satisfied with the recommendation of the state government, recommends the proposal to the central government. Thereafter, the Ministry of Tribal Affairs refers the proposal to the National Commission for Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes for their recommendation. If the National Commission for Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes also recommends the case, the matter is processed for the decision of the Union Cabinet after consulting the concerned administrative ministries. Thereafter, the matter is put up before the Parliament in the form of a bill to amend the presidential order. In case there is disagreement between the views of the state government and the RGI, the views of the RGI are sent to the state government for reviewing of further justifying their recommendation. Upon receipt of further clarifications from the state government or union territory administration, the proposal is again referred to the RGI for comment. In such cases where the RGI does not agree to the point of view of the state government or union territory, where the RGI does not agree to the point of view of the state government or union territory administration of India, may reject the said proposal. Claims that neither the RGI nor the concerned state government have supported are rejected. Similarly, those cases where the state government and the RGI favor inclusion or exclusion, but not supported by the National Commission for Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes, are also rejected. For inclusion of any tribe into the list of scheduled tribes, reports relating to socio-economic surveys, anthropological studies, consultations, etc. will be the criteria to be considered. Impacts of inclusion or exclusion of the tribe into or from the list of scheduled tribe. Number one, involvement of benefits and protection accorded to scheduled tribes, reservations in education, employment, land ownership, and developmental activities. Two, political representation in legislative bodies reserved for scheduled tribes. So we are fully seized of the importance of the matter being brought forward in the form of this resolution. The state government appreciates the genuineness, validity, and seriousness of the matter, and we are ready to approach the same with equal sincerity of purpose and intent. Although it is rather late in the day, and yet we feel that a constitutional anomaly that had occurred needs to be corrected. The department will constitute a departmental committee to study the matter in depth and come up with a final report in the course of 3 months' time. We will engage with all stakeholders and obtain their views before finalizing the report. We will also be engaging with all elected members of this August House as well as the ADCs to solicit their views on the matter. Thereafter, our report will be forwarded to the Registrar General of India, and we will duly follow up the matter as per prescribed procedure which I have elaborated. In this exercise, we will ensure that the list accurately reflects the demographic composition of the state of Meghalaya. Let me repeat, in this exercise, we will ensure that the list accurately reflects the demographic composition of the state of Meghalaya. Sir, that being the sole intent, purpose, and vision of the state government, I am sure that the honorable mover of this resolution will be in the correct frame of mind to appreciate that we all are on the same page. We would like to move in the same direction and to show the collective wisdom of this august House. I would like to urge upon the honorable member to withdraw his resolution and allow and work together, ensure that all our points of views and inputs are correctly reflected in the report, because that report is going to be very important, seminal to the future discourse that will happen right from the stage that we forward the report to the Registrar General of India up to the stage that we actually are able to obtain the assent and the support of the Union Government of India. Sir, with these few words and with the assurance that we will start work immediately and complete the finalization of the report within 3 months' time from today, I once again assure the Honourable Member that our intent is very clear. We would like to see that constitutional anomaly that has been committed in the past should stand corrected, and that we, the new order, should clearly and accurately reflect the actual demographic composition of the state of Meghalaya, which I have mentioned, quoting the 2011 census report. With these submissions, I once again thank the mover of the resolution and urge upon him to withdraw his resolution, keeping in mind the fact that we are on the same page and that collective wisdom should always prevail over individual wisdom, and that we are here for a cause, not for just applause. Thank you, sir.
Whether the Honourable Mover will withdraw his resolution?
Sir, respected sir, before I take a final call, so I'm so happy because I got a chance to plant a seed for understanding. And moreover, my role is to bring consciousness. So therefore, I believe in action, which means in letter and spirit. So we'll wait for the time, and the time will take on course of action. So with these few words, I thank the Honourable Minister who had given an assurances in the House, which also will be in record. So with these few words, I withdraw my resolution.